It's time to talk about Middle Tennessee Christian School sports. It's MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance. Each week we sit down with the coaches to recap the latest games and preview what's ahead. It's time to talk about the orange and white on MTCS Cougar Corner, right here on WGNS and Big G TV. Stay tuned, the show is coming up right after this message from our sponsors.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
The large majority of our kids are involved in athletics or extracurricular activities, one or the other, and most are doing multiple activities.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
And that's a great preparation for life. How many of us in our life are just doing one thing? So a well-rounded student is a huge deal.
Invest in your child's future in a Christ-centered environment with many athletic and extracurricular choices.
Without a doubt, our students have the opportunity to be involved in multiple activities.
To find out more, visit mtcscougars.org.
Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance takes great pride in treating local athletes here in Rutherford County. Here's Dr. Russell McKissick with TOA.
We have a passion here for taking care of our athletes here in Rutherford County. We really do our best to take care of them.
Experts in joint, bones, and muscles.
Many years we've been taking care of athletes around here, and we've just picked up where Dr. John started, and we just keep going.
TOA has a playbook that gets you back in the game. To request an appointment, visit TOA.com or call 855-NEED-TOA. TOA, live your best life.
Middle Tennessee Christian School, training for eternity.
People love to see us on the schedule when they have a home game because our fans show up.
MTCS President Matt Tiller.
The way we travel is just phenomenal. Our parents and our community are fully engaged in our school. When we compete, we're trying to do it in a way that honors God. We want to win. We also want to do it in a way that pleases Him.
Providing Christian values and academic excellence in a nurturing environment. That's Middle Tennessee Christian School. Invest in the future of your child. Find out more at mtcscougars.org.
We're back for MTCS Cougar Corner, presented by Tennessee Orthopedic Alliance and fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's on 1019, 100.5, 1450, WGNSSports.com, and Big G TV.
Welcome into MTCS Cougar Corner here from WGNS and Big G TV, and we've got Shala Ferrell, the head coach of MTCS girls basketball, joining this morning as we wrap up a fine season for the Lady Cougars. Coach, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Are you all into travel ball and stuff yet?
I'm at the gym right now with my son. Yes, sir.
I knew it. I knew it. It never ends, does it? Huh?
I'm sure you can hear the balls in the background.
Yeah, that's pretty fun.
Yeah.
This past season, I'm sure a little sting from CAK and from that, but you've had a little bit to reflect. Maybe your initial thoughts on the season.
So I did know quite a bit about CAK just from the travel ball world. I know that coach. I knew 4 of their 5 starters. So they're a very good team. And, they went down to USJ and they lost by 3. So they showed that they belong. Frustrating part is, you lead almost the whole game and then you lose by a layup with 7 seconds on the clock, 6 seconds on the clock, whatever. So that part was very frustrating. I do think we were pretty evenly matched up with CAK. However, we had a really good season. We lost to a team that was comparable to us. It wasn't like they were significantly less than us. So that's one positive thing you can take across. They were guard heavy as we are kind of guard heavy. So I felt like the matchup was good, but definitely a game that you could have won. And, you see yourself possibly in the Final Four this weekend, in the championship maybe today. But we had a really good season.
Yeah. Oh, most definitely. And just to show the type of district that you were in and the competition. I mean, a team that is right here in Rutherford County that you battled with all year, won some games, lost a close one, but they're playing for a state title. So, I mean, you were right there and on that level.
Beat them twice. Probably should have beat them 3 times. But they're a great team too. Glad that they could get there. Definitely wish it was us, but it's hard to see a team that you can beat and have beaten this year playing for a state title. It's hard.
Yeah, and we're not going to dwell on that because we want to talk about the great season that you had. But this is where you want a program to be. And Shala, when you took over this program, last year was nowhere even close to being competing for a state title. So big turnaround, really.
Yes, thank you. It was a lot. A coach can only do so much. It's the girls. They got to put in the work and they got to stick to the plan. And we had a good group of girls.
Yeah. Your daughter is a Miss Basketball finalist, one of three, two of the three from Murfreesboro. So that says a lot about your division and the play there.
Yes.
Jules was she was a jewel to have on the floor, and I know she's your daughter, so it's hard for a coach and that's your daughter and to talk about her. But talk to us a little bit about how special that was for her and a great season that she had.
We made a checklist at the beginning of the year, and Miss Basketball finalist was on that checklist. And, when the day that we told her that she was selected, she was shocked. And I said, well, it was on your list. And she said, I just didn't know if I would be able to do it since I've started a new school. And it's been such a change for us, the commute, just starting a new school, starting a new team, having a new coach. Even though it is me, it's not the high school coach she's had for 2 years. It was just a lot. And I do think she was proud and very honored to get that award. But just to see her in a leadership role and to really step up and be more vocal, that was my main thing for her this year, was to learn how to lead with a vocal voice, an uplifting voice, and she continued to do that as the season went on, got better and better at that. So that was the main checkpoint that I had for her, and I do think she grew tremendously on the vocal side of being a leader.
You probably, once you were putting all the pieces together, that's one thing that just kind of is an underlying story that I don't think a lot of people understand, because you had Jules coming in to a new program. You were the coach and you're new, and you mentioned all of those things going on there. And then you had other girls who this was their first year at MTCS and playing basketball, and to mesh all of that together, that couldn't have been an easy task.
Oh, it was. It was challenging. It presented challenges. Just on the academic side, a lot of the girls coming from a different academic program, the homework load was heavier. The testing was a little bit of a different style, and they were learning how to balance that through, sometimes being on the road. I think there was at one point we had 6 road games in a row. That was tough, but I feel like they done a good job considering.
As we talk about the season and going through the season, there were goals that you had, I'm sure, going into that. You accomplished many of those, regular season, district tournament, a lot of really good things that happen right there.
Yes. We, being on the road and having those games in a row, I felt like kind of did help us prepare for the district tournament. And I knew that we would go in and win. And truthfully, I felt like we should have won the region too. It's just so frustrating to look back on it. But to see how far they came, knowing that they won, I think, 8 games last year, wasn't even talked about, and the possibility of winning a district, that's a lot of growth for them. And I'm really glad for the seniors too.
I think one of the challenges in Division I is the number of district games that you play. I mean, there were weeks where you were playing 3, and then there's really not time for a scout between a Friday and Saturday.
We have 9 district teams, and truthfully, when I took the position, I didn't realize our district was that big. So you think about that turns into 18 games automatically on your schedule just in district games alone. So, that was different.
Totally different. And, the big schools here in Rutherford County aren't dealing with that. They're dealing with the opposite. They've got 6 games, and you're talking about twice as much just to get through the district.
Right.
And you play so much, and then you go through a tournament and you're playing back through the same teams. I mean, you played some teams 3-4 times. Yes,
we played PCA 4 times. We were 2-2 with PCA. So, that's tough when you play the same team, that many times. And then you think about on the boys' side, PCA and BGA, I think this will be their 5th time matching up. That's tough.
Yeah. I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing, but it is the way that it's all put together here. We're talking with Shala Ferrell, the head coach of MTCS girls basketball, as we wrap up a fine season that ended at 26-6, I believe, somewhere close to that.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, to go from, I think, maybe single digit or possibly into double digit wins last year to this year. You know, I keep going back to that in my mind, the turnaround that you had and the difference. Talk about some of the girls. We talked about Jules a little bit here, but you had other important pieces on this team that really had to come together and to gel and buy into what you were doing. And I know that there were tough times, but the girls did that for you.
Yes, they do. You know, I was thinking, talking about other players, I just got a message from our post player, Kyla Crawford. She's a senior.
Yeah.
She is going to commit to Montreat College. And Bria Haynes will play at the next level. I think she was kind of considering a JUCO level. Anna Clay will have some decisions to make. She will play at the next level. Jade Watson is just a junior. She will also play at the next level. You know, we have several kids that the road doesn't stop here. So,
talk a little bit about Anna Clay Shirley, because she was one that, you know, has been with the school and in the program for forever, it seems, and grew up through that, and, you know, had just such a tough injury last year, and to bounce back from that, I don't think people realize how hard it is to come back from a knee and get ready to go, and just really a great story.
yeah, she had, you know, an uphill climb her senior year. Really, it was just stayed kind of uphill. She got sick early on, and that kind of lingered. She tested positive for the flu. The week we started the region tournament, that the day before, she tested positive for the flu. She got her nose broken in the district championship versus PCA. Actually just had nose surgery this week on that. She chose to opt out on doing surgery, wait till after the season. You know, she had the mask on, couldn't really see. Her breathing was affected. I mean, it was just a lot that piled in, but she chose to keep pushing through to try to get through that senior season. And she had a really good senior season. She did. But she had obstacle after obstacle to climb over and to get over, and she really kept her head down. There were times that I could tell she was down, but she kept her head, you know, on the goal. And even though we fell a little bit short, she finished the season strong, and I was proud to see her do that, you know.
And, you know, just to have those things to overcome, as we talk about basketball being one of those platforms that really gives you skills that you're going to use as an adult, no matter where she goes and what she does, and continuing athletics. At some point that comes to an end, and then you're talking family and career, and not everything just rolls out like you want it to in life.
Correct. Yes. I mean, I do think this will prepare her even for college when things are not going your way. You got to still choose to get up and go to class. And, you know, when you pick your career of choice and you make it, and there's going to be days you don't want to go, or people that you might not like that you work hand in hand with, you know, so sports can take that a long ways. And she's definitely went through the gauntlet this year to try to exceed her dreams. So yeah, I would say she's pretty prepared going into the college life. Yes,
absolutely. And, you know, these kids have to have a good foundation, and you're a coach, but you're also a mom to a kid playing. You know, these kids have to get that support at home, and you know, I don't know if you could ask for a better bunch to get the support that they did from family, and then their school family, and just being embraced by the school itself.
Yes, I agree. We had a huge turnout come postseason with fans. You know, I was thinking about when we played over at PCA in the region, I tried to take it in. I encouraged my girls to take it in because it's just a short time for high school basketball, you know, and I'm like, you're going to look back on these days forever. Don't get so nervous that you don't notice who's here to support you, that you don't, you know, take advantage of these moments, look around before the tip-off, look around in timeouts, just kind of take it in, because it really is just 4 years. And some kids never get to play in a region championship, you know, never get to play in a state championship. So I was trying to do that as I was preaching to them, and I felt like we had a crowd that matched the size of PCA's crowd at their house. You know, that means a lot for the kids, that people show up. And, you know, even whenever we played at home, it was packed. When we fell short, it was packed, and they were very supportive there. to talk to the girls after we had the loss, and it was a good crowd.
You know, the support at MTCS is really, really high, and that's not the case at a lot of places. I mean, there are some schools that struggle to get good crowds. I mean, and the bigger the school, the more possibilities you have for crowds. But it seems like the smaller the support group is. I never have really understood that, but coaching and this being your first year, you have to be pretty pleased at where the support is for MTCS athletics.
Yes, I agree. And I had been told, and we had went to some football games before the basketball season, and there was a good turnout for the football games as well. So I kind of, some of the teachers were like, I think you're going to be surprised at how much, you'll get. And it was good for the girls.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of turn the page and look ahead. Many of these girls are going to be playing travel ball and that kind of thing. So what will be the interactions that you have over the summer and then expectations for 2027?
Yeah, so I did make out a summer schedule. The athletic director was kind of having me work on that this week. And, typically June is the high school month. Outside of that, they really do focus a lot on travel basketball. So it's hard to get them in. And you don't, there's a time for high school sports and then there's a time for travel ball. And me being kind of in both, I try to respect both. I would hope that the travel coaches would respect our time in June, just like I will respect their time in May and July, but I am glad to have some girls in getting reps and still playing and still conditioning. I do want them to have a little bit of a mental break where they need a few weeks off just to be a kid because still they're kids,
right.
So they do need that time off as well. But I know there's a couple of them that will play in a circuit this summer that is very, very competitive. So I'm excited about that.
And, there are academics to focus on here, too. They are high school athletes. So, yeah. Looking ahead, I know you have a few pieces from this year's pie that will graduate and move on to the next level. But you do still have some very important cogs that will be back playing for the Orange and White next fall.
Yes. We have some kids that's going to give them an opportunity, some of those upperclassmen, to give them an opportunity to get them a spot in the lineup. It's going to be who's going to work hard, who's going to do well in summer practice, and we'll just kind of go from there and see how it goes.
Well, I know these shows like this, the season's been over for a minute, and sometimes we catch coaches on the next day after, and it's just it's kind of unfair. But honestly, we just want to give you and whoever the coach is that we're interviewing the opportunity to talk about the team and that kind of thing. And so I really appreciate you being on every week. You're juggling a lot. It was a big transition for you, I know, with a lot of different things and making radio a part of that and, promoting your team and your program. It means a lot. We appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate you guys, too, taking the time to cover it because I know you guys are pretty packed, too, on your schedule. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to support the girls and be willing to take the time just out of your schedule, just your personal schedule. I mean, Saturdays are personal, and I know you put a lot of time and effort into it. I appreciate that.
Well, same here. Thanks, Coach. I appreciate you being with us.
Thank you.
Shala Ferrell, the head coach of the MTCS girls basketball team, and that will wrap up MTCS Cougar Corner this morning. Thanks to all the coaches who were on today. Don't forget, we'll have sectional tournament basketball tonight with Blackman at home versus Nolensville. Hope you'll join us 6:45 airtime. For my co-hosts John Dinkins and Danny Brewer, our producer Dalton Barrett, I'm Brian Barrett. Until next time, take care out there.